All right, everyone, welcome back to the channel. So, is the real estate market going to crash? Yes, it will crash. To what extent, we don't know. But the peak was in 2022, and it continues on the slope, hovering kind of down. Now, how fast is it going to happen? It will all depend on you and your situation. Because when we're talking about a crash, when we're talking about these type of situations, there are different elements associated. Number one is your personal financial situation, where you're at, right? Like it doesn't mean if everybody around you is falling apart that you're falling. No, it doesn't mean that. You might have a stable job. You maybe bought your property a long time ago. Maybe we're talking about inheritance. Maybe we're talking about different elements that make you pretty secure, my friend. However, everybody else that is exposed to the market and can be impacted heavily will be definitely damaged along the way. So one of the indicators is the rising debt in Canada, in your pocket, on your bank account. And when you see those minuses, that means negative and you're owing money or you're defaulting slowly but surely. And it happens more than you think. However, the perception when you're driving on the street, when you see other people in these shiny brand new cars, dressed well, going to work with a smile, or when you're thinking to yourself, what did I do wrong? How can the market for me be so bad? And you're right, probably the market of your investment, your alignment, you're playing your steps or ways in a wrong way could lead you to this. Now, when you look, as we said, to other people, you're like, oh my gosh, everybody's doing so much better than me. Stop it. You don't know that. Maybe they're drowning into debt up to here, right? And you have no idea unless they tell you, nor you care. The only thing why you should care is how to align yourself and see what is going on in the market. So this is probably one of the reasons you clicked on this video, because you want to know, hey, is it the right time to sell? Am I stuck up to here? Is the situation going to be fixed? And then you're talking to few people at work maybe, or on the way to work, and half of them are saying, hey, look, nothing is gonna happen. Real estate is the way to go. It doesn't matter. Like, we're not gonna see a crash. It's all an illusion. It's all these doom and gloom people on social media and YouTubes, etc. And maybe that person is right because they are in a such a situation. But if you know already that you are sinking, that your ship has a hole already, then you know you have to act. You have to do something in order to stop the fall. You cannot sit and do nothing. And I do agree with you on one thing here, and I'm going to explain myself. And this is the chart right here, the graph, sorry. So on the graph, there are things that are called the bull trap, right? So we see this, like we have seen it in 2017. We have seen the dip, right? And on that little dip in 2017, I remember people started to foreclose. I remember people could not close on their pre-con unit. I remember all these headaches. It lasted for, I would say 6 months, right? And then after that, we have seen, we saw recovery, right? Because, that was also the period when they said that the double foreign taxes on anybody that's buying real estate and all of that stuff, right? So, okay, so we have seen that, but what happened after that? The prices kept rising again, and then we hit the pandemic in 2020, and the prices ballooned after that, right? So this is exactly the stage right here, right? And then like no limits, like we were at one point, we were at no limit. Like we were like, this is never going to stop. You remember that? You probably bought in that period. You probably bought 1 or 7 investment properties. I don't know, but no limit. Like it's never going to stop. And I want to own anything. However, now we have seen that dip, and most of the counter reactions on my channel, and I'm sure on other ones as well, is stop, man. It's returning to normal. It happened in 2017, happened in 2005, happened in 90s, happened in the 80s, happened. But hold on a second. Like we are maybe talking about the same thing. However, the process is not finished, right? And in this case, this is not a blip. It is a blip in the market, but can this blip return? Yes, it can, and it did already, right? Because we have seen a stabilized market at one point. And that point, we could argue, but that point was somewhere around, I would say, mid 2024, right? Interest rates started to feather, market started to normalize. You have seen it all over your neighborhoods in Toronto, GTA. Everything started to stabilize, and list price, sold price was pretty close. And what happened then? So now we're getting to the other stage, which is the fear stage, and we're already here, right? So the fear stage is where people are fearing. They know they're in trouble, right? Their bank account is negative, 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 negative. Oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Right? So they start obviously pulling, or they have been pulling from line of credits for a long time. And I know people, they're pulling from line of credits for, over 2 years now. And they're just compounding that debt even more. Compounding. They're paying all the fees, and they're paying all of the interest on the debt by acquiring more of it, right? So it's that fear, and the fear of listening to what they want to hear, right? Most importantly, because if you say something to someone that gives them hope and they're in a fearful situation, most of the time they're gonna react and gonna say, "Wow, exactly. 3 people are telling me I'm gonna go to a bankruptcy, but the one guy, it's telling me, no, you're not, man. Just don't worry about it. Sit in that trash can for another 6 months, and all of a sudden the market will explode magically, and you will gain yourself back on the horse, and you will return all of the debt that you have acquired for the last few years." No, that person is wrong. I'm telling you right now. Like, there will not be a boom in real estate market. This spike, hockey stick, spike, boom, explode, you name it. It will not happen. It will not. So you have to adjust right here, and you have to adjust with the pen and paper how far you can take things, how far in trouble you are, in debt. What could you do to offset the impact? And when they say, you heard this saying before, did we hit the bottom? Right? But a hit, it means an impact, right? A hit, it's a hit. So will you hit slowly? Will you hit hard? Will you not hit at all because you'll go bankrupt before it even hits the bottom? We don't know. So why I'm making videos like this? Yes, doom and gloom and all of that stuff, but just to show you another perspective. I have clients, I had clients throughout my career, and they were thinking they could have done something, but the paper and the pen and the situation at the end of the day showed that being safe, being cautious, and thinking in a long run process will benefit you better than these spikes and booms and busts and these schemes or whatever you want to call them. I hope you gained some value out of this particular video. If you think somebody else could benefit from this particular content, please share, like, and I'll see you in the next one.